Hello friends, everybody. Today we'll discuss about what is Linux and what are the features in Linux operating system. So you might be knowing what is Linux. Linux is an operating system. So what is the main thing which separate the Linux from others? So Linux is an operating system. Which type of operating system? It's an open source operating system. So what is meant by open source? What is meant by open source? Open source means Open source means what? The source code of this Linux operating system is freely available, which anybody can access can and also can modify it. So this operating system, Linux operating system is being designed based on the Unix. So you might be knowing what is Unix? Unix is an also operating system which has been designed by the AT&T. So to design this operating system Unix, a project was started in 1965 jointly by these three companies, AT&T, GE, and MIT. After 4 years, these two companies, GE and MIT, quit from the project, and that same project, Multics, was continued by the Unix. Multics project is continued by the AT&T company with the name Unix, and it is taken up by the Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie. And from this project only, they design a new operating system which is called Unix operating system. So the Unix operating system is completely command-based when it was released, and it used to have very good security. Because of that, most of the companies used to use what? Unix. But in the Unix, there was one technical issue. It is a proprietary-based operating system, means like this operating system is designed by the AT&T. So that operating system, they made it as what? Hardware dependent. Means if you want to install their Unix operating system developed by the AT&T with this version sys3, sys5, you need to have the hardware of the AT&T. And same way, the other companies also designed their own Unix-based operating system, and they also made their operating system hardware-based. So suppose, example, if I want to install the Solaris operating system, I need to have the hardware of the Sun Microsoft, Sun. So then same way, the IBM designed their own operating system, Unix, with the name AIX, which can be installed only on the IBM machine. So like this, HP also designed it. So from this, what we can understand is that the Unix operating system is an proprietary based operating system. Which vendor or which company designed it, we require their hardware to install it. So this is the biggest drawback with the Unix operating system. So to overcome this problem, one gentleman with a name called Linus Torvald of Finland, he designed a new operating system which we called as what today? Linux or Linux. So after designing this operating system, whatever source code or program he has written, he gave that program to one organization, OSF. So they gave this program, a complete program, what this Linus Torvald has written, they kept it on the internet, which anybody can access and modify. Because of this, Linux is called as what? Open source operating system. And here, this penguin represents the official logo of the Linux operating system. So what are the main features of this Linux operating system? First of all, it is an open source. So open source means what? The source code which the Linus Torvald designed can be accessed and modified by anybody. So by doing the modification, we can have our own OS with our own logo and name. So because of this, in market, we have so many Linux-based flavors, or which you can also call as a distributors, designed by the different companies. So some of the names you can find here, like commonly used Red Hat, Ubuntu, Puppy Linux, Kali Linux, like this. Why this is possible? Because Linux is an open source operating system. So what are the features we have in the Linux operating system? First of all, it is an open source operating system. So the source code of this freely available, which anybody can access and modify. As well as like Windows, we can also do multiple tasks. At the same time, we can do multiple things. And here we have additional feature like multiple users here can log on without logout and can do the multiple tasks. Because when we install this Linux operating system, default will get multiple consoles. So from different consoles, we can log in with different users and can do multiple tasks. And Linux is being made hardware independent. So the security of the Unix has been carried into the Linux. But here, the problem of the Unix was it was hardware dependent. So that has been overcome in the Linux. So now Linux has been made hardware independent, which we'll call with a feature name called portability. And in the Linux, we have a single OS, which can be used like a server and client based on our requirement. That is called scalability. And when you install the Linux operating system, it has been found the Linux operating system provides the less downtime compared to the other operating system. That's why now you find maximum servers or many servers you'll find the hardware servers which works 24/7 working on the Linux operating system because it provides very low or less downtime. In addition to all this, it has a Linux operating system has very good security. Like every operating system will have some security in the form of firewall. So Linux operating system also have the inbuilt security in the form of firewall. Along with that, we also have in this operating system some extra securities like in the form of IP tables through which we can filter the things which we require and which we don't require. And also we have inbuilt one security which is called security enhanced Linux. So this makes Linux operating system very secure and stable. So these are the some of the features of the Linux based operating systems. So, when we talk about the Linux operating system, mostly it is being used in the server side. So when we talk about the server means which provide the services. So the servers are kept in the network. So network means what? Interconnection of the devices. So when we talk about the network is created for networking. So in the networking, you may have the different devices which might be installed with different operating system. Like in the real time or in the real time environment, mostly you'll come across many servers now on the Linux and many clients prefer to use what? Windows. Many clients prefer to use what? Windows. So suppose if you have a scenario like this, your servers, multiple servers, I'm taking for simplicity one server here. So this is our Linux based operating system. And this machine is connected in a network via switch. And we have number of machines. These are being used like a client machine. So like maximum people prefer to use what? Windows. So in this Windows operating system is installed. So suppose because of some work, one of the team leader is using, so suppose Linux based operating system. Our server is on Linux operating system and most of the clients are using Windows operating system and some client also using what? Linux operating system. Like it is might be a team leader in some project. So networking allows us what? Networking means what? Enabling the communication between these devices. So my devices are communicating, but network is created for what? Resources. So something, if I created in this server, it should be access to everybody. So now say suppose I want certain data in the form of some files and folder I have created in the server. So this data is very important and my requirement is this data should be shared by all my users. So generally to do the sharing, we created what? Network. So if I want to share this data from the Linux machine to Linux machine, we can use what service? If I'm doing this sharing from Linux to Linux, if you want to do the sharing, we can use a service called NFS. We can use the service called NFS, Network File System. So this will allow the sharing from Linux to Linux. But same time, I want to do the sharing from Windows to Windows. If I want to do the sharing from Windows servers to Windows client, then we can use a concept called share folder. So we can create the share folder and we can do the sharing of our data with the share folder. But in our scenario today now, the server is on Linux and the clients are using Linux and Windows to do the sharing. So can I use the NFS? No. Can we use the share folder? No, because our server is on the Linux. So our requirement is what? The data which has been created on the Linux machine, it need to be shared with the different operating system. Like mostly my clients are using Windows and some clients are using Linux. Now I want to do the sharing of this data. I want to share this data with this client, with the Linux clients as well as the Windows clients. So my setup is consist of Windows clients and my Linux clients also. Then how we can do it? Can we use the NFS? No. Can we use the share folder? No. But I want to do this sharing through the Windows client as well as through the Linux client. So in that scenario, we have a very good option that we can do it on a Linux server that is called Samba server. So by configuring the Samba server, we can able to fulfill this requirement. Requirement is what? To share this data with the Linux and Windows client. So that can be possible by configuring the Samba server in Linux machine, which will provide the sharing of our data with the Linux client as well as the Windows client. So today, when we talk about the multiple operating system environment, and if you want to do the sharing, this is the most commonly used service, Samba service, through which we can do the sharing both Linux client as well as with the Windows client. So the Samba provides you very good option when our company setup is in cross platform. Our company is working on a cross platform, means different users are using different operating system. So even if some users are using Mac also, we can able to provide the sharing, like our boss or the manager is using the Mac operating system. Through that also, the Samba server provide the sharing with to the Linux as well as Windows as well as to the Mac OS. So it's a very good option and most commonly used service in the networking concept. When we do need to do the sharing, we can use this server in our cross-platform operating system. So today we'll discuss how, as an administrator, Linux administrator, we can configure the Samba server through which we can do the sharing between Windows and Linux client. So today we'll discuss this important topic, Samba server. So like you might be knowing already, server means what? Which provide you service. So if I configure the Samba server in one of my machine, Linux based server, I can do the sharing with unlimited clients who might be using Windows OS, Linux OS or Mac OS. So this is a very, very important service used for the sharing purpose. So let us see how as an administrator, we can configure the Samba server. So just a second. So let us discuss about the Samba server now. I have one small slide with a presentation that we can see here. So today we'll discuss about how to configure the Samba server. So please remember, it's a very, very important concept. So first thing what we have to remember about the Samba server is it's an open source. It's an open source software that provides you what continuous sharing of files as well as folder. Both we can share it, files as well as folder. Both things we can share it with the help of the Samba server. So the Samba server works on what? Works with which protocol? It has been designed to work with the SMB protocol. SMB stands for what? Server message block, which can be also referred as with the name called CIFS. CIFS means what? CIFS means what? Common Internet File System. So generally, we have a file system related with the Linux with what? Either we will use what? ext4, or the latest file system in Windows is, in Linux is what? TXFS. In Windows, we use commonly what? NTFS file system, or the latest file system is what? REFS. But the ext will not support the NFS, or REFS will not support the XFS. But we have one common file system which is called CIFS, or we can say SMS, SMB, which is called as what? Server message block. So the Samba server uses what? SMB protocol or CIFS, means Common Internet File System, through which we can able to do the sharing of files and folder. And remember, this is a free application. We doesn't have to purchase anything about this Samba application. It's the open source as well as a free application. This is the most important advantage with Samba. And it works with which protocol? SMB or CIFS. So which the Linux machine as well as the Windows machine as well as the Mac can understand, so that we can able to do the sharing of files and folder on cross-platform. So if I want to configure the Samba server, see here, you can see in the presentation, while configuring the Samba server, how to configure we'll discuss in few minutes. So this is suppose my Linux based machine in which I, as an administrator, I configure the Samba server. So once I configure the Samba server, I can do the sharing from Linux to Linux as well as from Linux to Windows. So this is the important advantage we have through the Samba server. So you can see here, we can do the sharing with Linux to Linux as well as Linux to Windows. So if you want to configure the Samba server, these are the requirements. So first, we need to install one application which comes as if with our operating system. So I'll show you how to configure the Samba server on the Red Hat. So you might be knowing the Red Hat is the most commonly used server. So Red Hat is, you can say, have the maximum Linux-based servers being used from the from the Red Hat company. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to configure the Samba server on the Linux platform through the Red Hat. So then, to configure the Samba server, first we need to install one application called Samba, which comes inbuilt with our operating system. It's a free application. So once you install this application, one file will be created. That file is called configuration file. So this file will not be existing unless until we don't install this application. So once we install this application, one file will be created which is called configuration file. So as per our requirement, we can write our requirement in this file by making certain changes. How to do that, we'll see. So we need to open this configuration file, which this file will be stored in the etc with this name samba/smb.conf. So we need to write our requirement. That what are the requirements we need to write? I'll explain you while doing the practical. So now, once we are using the Samba service for sharing of our data between the different operating systems, these are the port numbers will be used between the server and the client. So 137 port number will be used for the name service. NetBIOS name means a name which is without any extension. That is called NetBIOS. So that service will be identified or will be accessed with this port number 137, and the session is established with the port number 139. This name will be verified, or this name service will be identified with the 137 port number, and the session between the server and client is established through 139 port number, and the data, whether it is a file or folder between different operating system, is being shared or transferred with the port number 138. So once we install this service, the exchange of data will take place through the port number 138, and the connection and the service will start with this 137 port number, 138 and 139. And once we configure the server, we need to start a service called SMB, server message block. So once you start this service, in the front end, this service will be running, and in the background, this service will be running, NMD and SMBD. So here NMBD stands for what? NetBIOS message block daemon. And SMBD stands for what? Server message block daemon. So these services will be working in the background, and in the front end, this service will get started. So this is related with the requirement. This is related with what? Requirement. Now, first I'll explain you how to configure this Samba server step by step. Then simultaneously, I'll show you practically how to configure it. Okay. So let me show you now. Let me show you the configuration. So here, I have started one machine already. So let me log in with the administrator. Here, the administrator will be what? Root. So I have the password for that. So here, I'm showing you how to configure the Samba server. Okay. So first, we need to check the IP address is there or not in our machine. So that we can check it with by using the command ifconfig. So here IP is not there. Assign one static IP, because on the servers we'll have the static IP. So we can give this static IP like this. I'm working through the VMware. So in the VMware, my LAN card name is this one. So ifconfig, then my LAN card name, then give some IP address. So I'm working on the private network, suppose. So I'll be using this IP address. If I'm providing this service on the internet, I'll be using the public IP. So now we can check it. My IP is what? Now my IP address is what? 192.168.0.9. So this is the IP I'm using. Now IP address is installed, assigned now. Now let us install the application called Samba. So to configure the Samba server, we need to install the application called Samba. So how to install it? With the yum install the application name. What is the application name? Samba. So this application will get installed along with the dependencies, and this configuration file will be created. This configuration file will be created, which we have to modify it as per our requirement. So to make you understand in a simple way, I have written here the steps. I'll explain you, then I'll do the practical so that you can easily understand the steps, what I'm doing. See here. So after installing the application, suppose I want to create some data. So I need to create that data with some name. Inside that, I need to create one folder which should be under the slash, because our Linux operating system will be there under slash. So in that, I can create some files and folder. Both I can create. Then here I written the steps. So let me do the same thing now. So let me create one folder. Before installing also we can create the folder, or after installing this. So let me create one folder with some name. So suppose I created one folder with what name? /Linux. Now this is my folder. So this folder will be created with what permission? It will be created with what permission? 755 default permission. So inside that, I want some data should be shared with this. So what I'll do, I'll go inside this. So with Samba server, we can share the file as well as folder. So let me create one folder with some name here, with any name. So suppose I'm having one folder with a name called Zoom. One folder is created. Inside the folder, main folder is /Linux. So which I'll make like a share folder. And I'm creating one file. You can use any name. So I created inside this share folder. Still it has not become the share folder. We have to make it. How? I'll show you step by step. So inside one folder, I created one file and folder because I need to show you that with the Samba server, we can share both files and folders. So blue one is what? Folder. The black one is what? File. So I created inside this folder, inside this our main folder through which we'll be sharing these files and folder. Okay. So now let me come out from that folder. It is not mandatory, just I'm coming out. So I shown you this step first. Create some folder and file. Now next, we need to assign some name to our machine. Where we are configuring the Samba server, we need to assign some name. So you can give any name. That name should be fully qualified domain name, like written here. You can use any name. It is optional, writing Samba. So this is your system name, this is your domain name, and make it permanent. After giving this name, we have to make it permanent. So let me show you that. Now let me assign some name. So this is called my user, which user is logged in? Root. And my system name is what? www. So I'm giving some name now. Host name, www. You can use any name like I'm using now. Suppose our service is Samba. Dot. My domain suppose is zoom.com. So now my system name is what? www. But my system name here is what? Samba. And this zoom.com is domain. So how to get it? Just we can do what? Open the new terminal or simply write what? Bash. So now this become what? Name. But it is temporary. Once the system reboot, again you will get what name? www. So I want again after rebooting also the name should be Samba, means I need to make it permanent. So how to do it permanent? Just give this entry in this file. Open this file with VEditor. Host name. Now here I have some dummy name written here. So I deleted that. Now I need to go to the insert mode by pressing I. Now return. What is the name I have given? Samba. Don't write host name, just write the name. Samba.zoom.com. So this is the host name we have given. Now escape, shift :W to save and exit. Now what we have to do, we have to install the application, which we have done. So either you can do this before or after. Now what you have to do, this is the modification we have to do it. This is the modification. So open the configuration file. Then we have to copy these 7 lines and we have to write this. So first you have to write something here, which is called here share name. You have to write some name here. So based on your requirement, you can write any name that will become your what? Your share name. Then it will be same. Comment will be anything, public stuff, something like that. Path means what is the folder you have created, share folder, that you have to write it here. So what is the folder I created here? See here. In our case, I created a folder with what name? /Linux. Here in example, it was /Zoom. Okay. So we have to go to that file. Then we have to write valid users. Then which user for authentication, we have to write the user. Then public yes, writable yes, printer no. So these are the things we have to do it. So start the service. Now let me show you now. Then we can assign the SMB password for that user. So now let me do that practically. So now what I'll do, before I go to the configuration file, let me create one user. So this is the authentication I'm providing. So some user is created, some with some name. Example here, Tom. You can use any name. I use here what? Tom name. Now let us modify the. So when we install the Samba application, one file is created with what name? That we have to modify under etc. So this is the main configuration, Samba smb dot. This is the configuration file which will be created once we install this application. Okay. Now open this file. If you want, you can set these line numbers by using this set NU. Now go to the last line by using capital G. Now here, from last 7, see here. So these are the files you will have. So already something was written. So these are the 7 last line we have to copy it. So how do you copy it? Put the cursor on that public, then write it what 7YY, then come down and in empty line you paste it by using what? P for what? Paste. It has pasted. So you can do the modification here also, but we can copy and paste also as per our requirement. So first thing what you have to do is that the semicolon indicate what? These lines will be not executed. Something like it is a program, like comment when we write the hash, similar to that semicolon. So first you have to delete this. So delete this semicolon. So press I to go to insert mode. So delete all this because you want this line to be enabled or active. So delete these lines. Sorry, not lines, sorry, semicolons only, and make these lines enable or active. Now first here something is written like public. So now here you can write it as per your requirement. So it should be under this bracket. So this will work like a share name. Suppose I want to make a folder, share name. You can write anything, like here I written India. So this name will work for me as what? This name will work for me as what? Share name. So this has to be given in the we are modifying last 7 lines. So first we have to modify this name, anything within the bracket. Remember here it was actually public, so we can write any name. So this will become for sharing purpose what? The share name. Comment should be as it is. Then the path, in the path we have to write what? Our share folder name. Sorry, it should be India, can be any name. I give an example, India name. Now come to the next line, path. So remember, these are the 7 lines we are modifying by copying and pasting. Now here, what is the share folder we have created? I created with what name? mkdir/linux. Inside that I kept file and folder which I'm sharing. So this is our share name. So here, India is what? Share name. And this is your share folder. So you are sharing with the help of which folder? /linux. Then after that, you press enter. Write here what? Valid user. Space should be there, before is equal to and after is equal to. Now here, what is the user you have created for authentication purpose? That name you can write. Then public yes, writable yes, printer no. If you have the printer connected, you make it yes. So these are the 7 lines we have to write it. Now same thing you can see in the steps here. I shown you here. So first will be your share name, then comment, then the path, user, public. So now our share folder is ready. Now what you have to do, we have to restart the service. Before you can start or after this SMB password. Now we need to assign the SMB password. So those who want to use this service, they should know this password, username and password. Then only they can access. So this is the security we have with the Samba server. And whatever things you are given as the share name, share folder, all those things you can check with this tool name, test farm. I'll show you. Now let me go to this. Now I made the changes as per my requirement. Then what should I do? Save and exit. Escape, shift colon WQ. Now I need to assign the SMB password. How to do that? SMB password -a. We are adding that password. Which user we have created earlier? I created one user with what name? User at. You can see Tom. So that name I'll give now here. Now I'll give some password. Now let me start the service. Service SMB, service server message block service. I'm restarting. So in the front end, this will be working, and in the background, one second, there is a spelling mistake here. One second. Now service has been started. So in the background, now NMD service will be working with SMBD service. Now make your firewall disable if you want this service to be accessed by all your employees. So make your firewall off, IP table -capital F, and disable the SC Linux. Now you can see what are the things you have configured with what tool, test farm. Now see, you can see this is the share name we have given. The first name is called what? Share name. This is your share folder. Yes. And the authentication is what? Username is what? Tom. And the password I have given. So this I need to tell to the users who are authenticated user who need to share this. Okay. So now let me do the sharing. So now what is the main advantage I told you with the Samba server? We can share from Linux to Linux as well as from Linux to Windows. So I'll open one more machine. I'm working through the VM. So I'll open one Linux machine as well as one Windows machine. I'll show you the sharing. So already these steps I have written here so that you can understand easily. So if I want to do the sharing from Linux machine, I need to use the concept of what? Bound from other machine. This should be the server IP address of the Samba server. So in our case, what is my server IP address? 192.168.0.9. And my share folder name is what? /Linux. Then I can use any empty directory. The username is Tom. If I give the correct password, then I can see that files and folders. So let me open this one more machine here. So here I created one client machine just to save the time. So meanwhile, I'll show you what is the share folder I created. Linux /Linux. So in that, what is the file and folder I kept? One folder, blue color is folder, Zoom, and file is CCNA. So that I'll share it from the other machine. So remember this, my server IP address is what? In my case, 192.168.0.9. So client should be using this network IP address. So this is my another machine here. So let me log in with the administrator now. Now, first thing what you have to do from the other machine is what? It should have the same network IP address. So let me check IP address is there is or not in this machine. So I'm opening the terminal. This is remember another machine here. So this machine does not have the IP address. So let me assign the IP address. If config, my LAN card name, you can see there, ENO16773736. This is my LAN card name because I'm working on the VMware, through the VMware. I created my virtual machine through the VMware. That's why the LAN card name is this. Let me make this machine IP address what? Same network. So what is the IP of this machine? Let me check it. So what is the IP of this machine? 10. My server IP is what? 9. This is 10. So first you check the communication is taking place or not. So how to check it? Just ping it. Ping from 10 machine you ping to the 9th machine. 192.168.0.9. The server, Samba server is configured or not. So it is communicating. So using the control C, I'll stop it. Now, what you have to do? Create one folder with any name. I created one folder. So is there anything is there in this folder SS? Nothing is there. Oh, sorry, it should be /. Is there anything is there? No, nothing. Now I'll mount to my server. So if I don't know what is the, suppose the admin has to tell me the username and password, then I can access this. So the Samba server IP address should be known to me. Suppose I'm the authenticated user. So that's admin will tell me this is the server IP address. So I need to mount to that 192.168.0.9. This is the, in Windows we'll use backward slash, but in Linux we'll use forward slash to access anything. So what is the share folder name? /Linux. Here I have written these steps. You can see here. So mount, then our server IP address with share name, then any directory which we want to access. So just now I want to access this data into the SS folder. So I'll write what I created just now, which folder, SS -O, then username. Now admin has told me that to access the service, the username is what? Tom. And he told me also the password. So then I can able to access. One second. One second. So I'll just check what is the password. Just a minute. Oh, sorry. My share name is what? My share folder name is Linux. Share name I have to give. I have given the folder name. Sorry. So what we have to do now here, you just use this command. Same command. So our share folder name we created with what name? /India. So this is the folder name. But we have to give the what? The share name, not share folder name. Now give the password. Now it has been accessed. See here. Now go to the /access. So previously there was no data, but now whatever you created in the server, can you see here? What you have created in the server, in the share folder, whatever you have created, it is coming. Now as a user, if I create something here, immediately it will be replicated. See here. I'm creating one folder with this name, suppose user. This user is Ravi. So he's created one folder with his name Ravi. Immediately, okay. So the permission is not given. So if you want the user to also share it, means you can give one permission in the server chmod. You can make it what? 777/ your share folder name. What is your share folder name? Linux. Now the user can create it. See here. Now the created some folder, created. Immediately it will be replicated here. Now previously there was one file, one folder, but now you will find one more folder. So where it will be there? In the folder called Linux /Linux. So earlier it came. Now if this user create any new thing here, a file, let me create one file. This has been created from the machine. Now he's created one file with what name? RR. Immediately it will come to the server. See here. So this is about the sharing from Linux to Linux. This we can do also with with NFS service. But our main task is what? Sharing from Linux to Windows. So I have one machine here. Now I'll show you how to do the sharing from the Windows. Our main task while for using this service is what? Samba, sharing between Linux and Windows. So let me open one machine here. So here I am having one Windows machine. Let me open this machine. Now I'll show you how to do the sharing from Windows machine. So but meanwhile, this machine get open, I'll explain you what we have to do in the Windows machine to get the data. So what you have to do now, you have to go to this start run. Now in Windows, we'll access with what? Backward slash. Server IP address with share name. Remember, share name. Then you can see that file and folder. Okay. So I'll show you now. So this is my Windows machine now. So first, this machine should be having the same network IP address. So we are using which network IP? 192. So this machine also should be in 192. So let me first check the IP address. We can use any server OS or client OS. Presently, I'm having the server OS, so I'm using server OS. You can also use the client OS. So let me change the IP address. So here it is 10 dot network. So I should be changing it to what? 192 network. So this IP is suppose 11. So what will be the subnet mask for the class C? It has taken the subnet mask. I'm not maintaining any presently the DNS. Now let me just refresh the by disabling and enabling. I'll check communication is taking place or not by using the ping from the Windows machine. So I'm opening the command prompt and I'm pinging to my Samba server. Samba server IP is what? 192.168.0.9. Yes, it is communicating. Now let me access that data. So how do you do it? Go to the run command. Then here you use backward slash. Then our Samba server IP address. Now share name. What is the share name? /India. Now it is asking the username. Username is what? Tom. And I assign one password. If it is correct, it will access. Now can you see same thing? What you have in Windows? From Windows you are accessing same thing. What you have in the server? Yes, same thing is there. So if I create any new thing here, let me create one new thing here. I created one folder. Immediately it will come to the Windows machine also. So that's what it is said. Continuous sharing will take place. Let me have my Windows machine here. See, earlier it was here. Immediately Doom folder came. So this is the way. So once you create anything from the server, it will come to the client. And if a client create anything, it will immediately come to the server. So this is the importance of Samba server. So by which we can able to share the files and folder. Now let me create one file with this name or folder with this name MCSC. I created one folder from the client machine from the Windows. Now immediately it will come to the server. See here, let me go to the server. Now previously this 4 or 5 folders were there. Now can you see here MCSC folder? If I create any new thing from the Windows, again one file let us create with the name called Windows. Let me go to the Windows. So let me create one file with the Windows name. Let me create one text file with what name? Windows. Now immediately it will come to the servers here. Let me go to the server, Linux server. So previously there was no name called Windows. Now it will come. So this is what I mean to say. So is sharing is taking place? Yes. So this is the advantage with the Samba server. So we can do the sharing from Windows to Linux, Linux to Windows. Everything is possible. So I hope you understood this Samba server importance. That's it for now. Thank you, everyone.